Hello, welcome back. This is part two. So, I did state on the YouTube platform that I would be sharing some things. Okay, so I'm going to go full out and tell you right now that if you do not want to hear what I have to say, please click off now. Okay, starting from the beginning, I've been in a family from both sides um, that has a lot to do with cults or spell work or heavy witchcraft, you name it, all that sort of thing. And they've been carrying it off pretty well. There's some of them that are very skilled in manipulating energy. They've figured out maybe not the whole thing of this game, but enough to know that if they take somebody that is not fully awake or aware, that they can use them. They can use them as a scapegoat. They can use them as harvesting energy from them. They can use them pretty much any way they see fit, because they believe that because they're awakened to something, that they don't have to teach that to the next generation so that they can get away with whatever they want. That's not okay. Karma's coming back to get them, and each and every one of them are going to experience their own shit because they put enough people through enough trauma. And I don't want to do this. I don't want to be the one to continue it. I break the cycle. I don't give a shit if that's been said so many times lately, but it's true. There are people standing up and speaking their truth. And I personally was groomed, and they put me in situations, for example, having me go sleep over at one of my parents' friends' house. Like a grown adult with me there, I'm still a child, shit. And having go have a sleepover. As far as I know, nothing happened, but at the same time, I did have another video that discussed outer body, the astral plane, and what happens in the 5D when you're sleeping and stuff like that. That's a whole other thing in itself. But as far as being every relationship I've ever been in, other than obviously my own reactions to things, right? Because we take self-accountability as well. But there's certain things placed on me so that relationships never did get past the full part, and that when they did, I think this last one here, I was engaged. I was supposed to get married to this person, but he is also from a family of heavy energetic manipulators and cult-like activities. People that are aware of this sort of thing and that use their family that are not aware, or that are aware but have no backbone or have no courage to stand up for themselves. You know, they're in too much fear because that's been installed young, so they don't speak up for themselves, and they allow themselves, it's almost like they're watching a video of themselves just kind of play it out, and they just do whatever they're asked. They do what they're told because they're afraid of going against the group or the cult. And there has been deaths around me that were suspicious. There has been things that happen with people in my life that are unexplained. Before, it never made sense, right? I just blamed myself for everything, and then I realized how much of an influence and how much of an impact that the people in my own family, and then their connections as well, how much they had an influence on my own life. I was basically just being used, and I was almost like a puppet. Oh, that reminds me of the movie, Pirates of the Caribbean. Calls her Puppet. And it's like, good evening, Miss Turner. It's like, you best start believing in ghost stories. You're in one. is fucking kind of true if you think about it. There's all different ways people, I believe, think about this sort of thing, our reality, whether we're already, because we're vessels, right? Whether we're already just past and we keep going through the same cycles over and over till we learn, and that could take generations, right? Some people learn quicker than others, some people are further along than others. It all depends on what you believe. But ultimately, we are here to learn the lessons that we're supposed to be learning. And I'm going to do the best I can to upload these videos and keep them as short as possible. I use whatever protection possible that I have, even when it comes to like crystals and shit like that. This one specifically is the tourmaline. Actually, no, it's the rainbow obsidian. But because I believe that energy, that frequency, what is tied to this object, right? I do believe that it can assist me in helping me protect myself. So that includes my surroundings, that includes my vehicle or anything like that. When I leave my house, okay, the amount of downloads I get, and the amount of energies that are hitting me from every which angle, the amount of messages I get, right? Because you can have good messages and negative messages. The amount of negative messages that I'm being given, okay, are dramatically increased. And they're from, the way I do it is usually through words, right? Because I have this thing with words and sometimes numbers and stuff like that. But it can even just be a person walking in front of you, right? Everything that you are seeing in front of you, the signs and synchronicities, is meant for you to see. You either see them or you don't, but they're there for you to see. It depends whether or not you're looking, and it also depends what you believe in. If you do not believe in that sort of thing, please click off this video. If you do, then you will understand what I'm saying. So yeah, when I leave my home, I seem to have a good enough protective barrier around my home that it's been doing me justice. It's been helping me out. But when I go out to wherever I go to, there's been close calls, like random things that could be like a freak accident, but because I'm being cautious and aware, I see these things ahead of time and I'm able to prevent that from happening. But the energy that's being sent towards me, especially the message like shut up, right, or trying to silence me in a way, or certain things that'll be said to me, but because I've done my healing, my old self would be triggered by. Like it would be something to lower my self-esteem, right, or to trigger me to have an emotional reaction. But because I've done my healing, I see those signs and I see the messages, but they don't, like, I just observe and then I let it go. I was like, oh, that's meant to trigger me. Oh, that's meant to trigger me as well, right? But it has no effect on me. But the amount I get is it's some intense stuff, and I realized that I was not supposed to make it this far. Well, I'm saying I was supposed to fucking make it this far, but there are people that did not expect me to make it this far, unfortunately. And there's a lot of young individuals around me that were born in around the same timeline, like the same groups, and they're dropping off pretty quickly. And then you have individuals that are passing away, say mysteriously, but other than the wave of emotion people are being hit with and having to deal with that, there's a lot of dark shit going on behind the scenes because people are panicking. Those that have been doing things behind the scenes with malintent, those that have been purposefully using this information and manipulating people or controlling people or sending out spell work or murdering people, shit's coming out and they know they're running out of time. So they're panicking and they're doing everything they possibly can right now because it doesn't really matter at this point to them, I guess, if they failed everything they could possibly do to try to keep this mask or veil up. And it's not working. Well, they know they're going to have to answer to their own karma that they've created for themselves. And it's a shame because some of these people are my own family and friends. And like I said before, if you're not on your right path, your ancestors, your whatever you want to, whatever you believe in, right? Because even if you believe in nothing, you're going to have your ass handed to you. You know when you do something wrong. Okay? I don't care who you are, even if you're like some unchemically balanced individual that goes around killing people, you still have a general sense. I'm pretty sure they have a general sense that they're doing something wrong. But it's all coming out. And they're in a panic mode right now. So there's a lot being sent to me. I'm doing the best I can. Before the 6th, if you have any cords to cut, I would suggest doing that. There's people that will, if you've woken up and you mention certain things to them and they're aware of this sort of stuff, it was meant to be hush hush, they're going to play it off like they don't know what you're talking about. If you're paying attention, there's more than enough red flags to let you know that they're full of shit. And that they are doing everything they can to recreate whatever mental prison they had you in before, so that they continue to do whatever it is that they're doing and reap whatever benefits they can off you. Just be very aware of that. Protect yourself, do your research. If you still are watching this video, congratulations. Even if you don't know what I'm talking about, but you're interested, hopefully this is a good starter for you, because I've done this all pretty much on my own here in the 3D. I've had no assistance. I've had to learn a lot of things. Some things I knew without being taught. I just am doing them instinctively. I'm listening to my intuition. I'm literally listening to those senses going off in my body. Everything, all my gifts and abilities, any foresight that I have, almost like a chess game. I listen to it. I don't ignore it. And it's gotten me this far.